Alright, so what's going on everyone? My name is Firebrand. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a slightly different format of Tier Maker video than I do. This time I'm going to be streaming it, so let's go ahead and get right on into this. This is Rising Storm 2 weapons. I'm a huge fan of Rising Storm 2. I love the game. Probably one of my most played games on Epic Games. I have a little bit of playtime on Steam, but on Epic Games is definitely my most played game. And we're going to be starting off this list with, personally, my favorite gun in the game, which I know is going to be kind of a weird pick for my favorite gun, but it's just the gun I like the most in the game, if I can find it. Ain't no way they don't have it on this list. There's no... There it is. M14. M14 is easy S tier for me. It's the gun I got good with, like, when I first started playing the game, and it's the gun that helped me get through 30-something levels, so, definitely M14 is S tier. M16 is going to be right behind that at S tier as well. The only reason I'm putting S tier, this is just slightly less S tier than what the M14 is. It took me a little bit longer to get used to the M14 than it did the M16 rather than the M14. That was mostly because of the sights, and it shoots a lighter bullet than what the M14 does. It doesn't have as good... I don't think you can even one-shot with this, unless you hit a headshot. There might be a one-shot range, but it's got to be a smaller one-shot range than what this thing has. But I really love both these weapons. The M1919, it's either the A4 or the A6. I think it's the A4. I'm personally not a huge fan of this gun. It fires a little too slow for my taste, but it's really good. It has a good amount of ammo in it, and the sights are pretty clean too. So it's not the worst. It's not my favorite, but if it's your only option, it will definitely do what you need to do. It has a good amount of ammo, good low-ish rate of fire to keep that ammo. Yeah, it's not that bad. The K50, I freaking hate this thing. It's E tier. I am not a fan of the K50. It's not my least favorite gun in the game, mind you, but it's one of my least favorite guns in the game. It's a PPSH with a shorter barrel and a stick mag. So, yeah. You can't use drum mags on this thing at all, unfortunately. That's due to the folding stock on, or the collapsible stock on this thing. So that's really unfortunate. If you could put a drum mag on this, I'd probably love it. But it's the ammo that burns too fast. One of my least favorite things about this gun. The Browning High Power. I'm not a fan of the pistols in this game, but I really enjoy using the Browning High Power. It has, I want to say 14 plus, counting of course plus one in the chamber. It for some reason has adjustable sights, which you really don't need on a pistol in this game. I honestly forget that it even has it 90% of the time I'm using it. But for a pistol, I really like it A tier. Easy to use, lowish recoil, and the sights are easy to use as well. So yeah. The F1, and not the F1 cars, the F1 submachine gun. I'm not personally a big fan of this thing. I like the Owen gun more, which I know is possibly sacrilege to a lot of Rising Storm 2 players. I like the Owen gun more than I do this thing. This thing has a slower fire rate, fires the exact same caliber, so it's kind of just like a weaker Owen gun. It's still not bad though. This thing has, both this and the Owen gun have like no recoil, so yeah. They do have really weird sights. I don't remember if the F1 sight is offset to the right side. I know the Owen guns Owen's guns is? I know the Owen gun sights are offset to the right side, which kind of messed me up with it at first. You know, it kind of reminds me of like the Type 99 from World at War, if you know what I'm talking about. But once you get used to it, both of them are really, really fun guns to use. The F1 a little less so just because of the fire rate, but the FAL. This is slightly lower than that because I don't get to play on, one, I don't get to play on the Australian side that much. Two, I don't know why, even though the sights are clearer on this gun than they are on the M14, I like the M14 sights better. I don't know why. This has a 20 round mag of the exact same caliber the M14 fire at 7.62 by 51. If I'm not mistaken, the M14, if you fire less than 10 shots with it, you have to reload it with stripper clips only. Kind of a bummer. That's one thing the FAL has up on it. You don't use stripper clips with this thing at all. If you even fire one shot out of the mag, change the mag immediately. The L2A1. B tier. I don't hate it. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I'm not a machine gunner in this game, for dang sure. I think it has a 30 round mag of a 7.62. Pretty sure it's a 30 round mag. It could be more than that, it could be less than that. I don't exactly remember. I'm pretty sure it's a 30 round mag of 7.62. Choice between fully and semi-automatic, and unlike most of the fully auto weapons in this game that fire like a biggish caliber, it's actually not that hard to control, surprisingly, believe it or not. So yeah. The XM17, the XM177E1, I think this is. this is one of my favorite guns in the game. It's not S tier because of the exclusivity of it. You only get this on Point Man. I think in mid to late war. You don't get it early war at all. But this is a really fun gun to use. It's basically a shortened M16 with a collapsible stock. Mind you, I almost never see anyone collapse the stock on this thing, because if you do, it makes the thing kick up like a frickin' mule. But if you have the stock extended, this is literally just a short M16 for the Point Man class. It's so much fun to use. I love this gun to death. If at any point in time, Tripwire or Antimatter, the developers of the game, make a Gulf War or a Mogadishu themed FPS, I would love to see a Car 15 with that model and the little rail thing that goes on top of the carry handle with the red dot on it. I would love to see that. I don't know why, but I love seeing that type of gun. The BAR, the BAR, Branding Automatic Rifle. C tier, the mag size is too small for it. If it had like a 30 or 40 round mag size to it, it'd be easy A or B tier, but I'm not a fan of the BAR. Yes, I know it shoots 30-06, which this is like one of the 2 guns in the game that actually shoot that round. I'm just not personally a big fan of it. I really am not. Also, excuse the dogs barking in the background. Just not a fan of this gun. It has okay-ish sights. The sights aren't really anything to write home about. It just really isn't all that good of a gun. There's a reason this is only on the Arvin class, or Arvin faction. The M2 carbine. I hate the M2. I hate the M2 and the M1, and I know that's going to give me some hate, but I hate both of these guns equally. They both shoot a 30 carbine round, which is, I think, the smallest caliber in the game any of the rifles fire. Now, yes, I know these are technically carbines, so they're not going to be shooting like a full-on rifle round. But the M2, okay, M2 carbine's going C tier because it has the advantage of being full auto. M1 carbine is just trash. I don't like the M1 carbine at all. Now, yes, it is one of the most quiet guns in the game, not including the suppressed sniper. But with that low volume on it, you also get very low power. You have to put 2 or 3, sometimes even 4 shots into someone to kill them. I'm not a fan of this thing, and I hate the iron sights on it. I really dislike the iron sights. The iron sights on this thing are probably some of my least favorite in the game. There are 2 M1 Garands. Oh, no. Well, I know this is an M1C, or M1D Garand. Is there a version that launches rifle grenades? Okay, I'm going to do a little bit... oh, I can't... well, we're going to do some research live. Headphone cable, get off my keyboard. M1 Garand. Rising Storm 2 Wiki. Is there a version of this thing that shoots rifle grenades? Yeah, that doesn't have it all. Yeah, I don't know why there are 2 M1 Garands. Yeah, they get the M1D and the M1 Garand, but it doesn't say anything about a secondary M1 Garand. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm just going to go ahead and unrank that since that's a duplicate of an M1 Garand, apparently. The M1 Garand. This, along with the BAR, shoot the 30-06 cartridge, which makes it have a heavy one-hit kill range. If I'm not mistaken, it's one of the best one-shot kill ranges in the game, if not the best. It's up there with the Mosin. B tier, it's no, A tier. It's a slightly worse M14. You get a bigger caliber, but you also only get 8 rounds of it. So that's basically the only differences. So can't really say all that much about it. That, and I never get to use it because I never get to play Arvin. So the M1D, B tier, no, C tier. I don't like the reticle. Don't like the reticle at all, but I like the gun. The Maz 49. This is, it's a S tier, honestly. One of my favorite Vietnamese weapons in the game. This is for the National Liberation Front. I don't remember if it's for the NVA. I don't believe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments though. But I love the Maz 49. It's a Vietnamese M14 basically. It has 10 shots of some caliber. I don't know what it fires actually. If I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know if it fires a French round or a Vietnamese round or a Russian round or what it fires, but it fires a cartridge and it hits like a freight train. This is like if it had 10 more shots in it, it would perform almost exactly like the M14, just with different sights. The Maz 49 Sniper. That scope sucks. The scope on it sucks, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm actually gonna change the M1D and the Maz 49S. I don't like the scope on this thing at all. It is horrible. It has the PU scope reticle for the Mosin Nagant, but it also has this like really thick frickin' buffer tube on the scope like a Dragunov would, so it's kind of not good. The MP40. No recoil, slowish fire rate, but it fires 9 mil, so you gotta put like 3 or 4 shots in them. It's not bad, it's not good, it's mid-tier. The RP46. I've never been able to use this thing very well. I'm not gonna lie, D-tier to me. But I know people that have been able to just suppress entire like squads with this thing, and like it's crazy. Like I don't get how they use it, but they do. The M1A1 Thompson. Also, I'm pretty sure the only option for the ammo in this thing is a 250 round belt. So the M1A1 Thompson. This gun holds a special place in my heart for this game, just because I got my first double-digit kill game with this on Hoist City. I was on the attacking side. I think I was on the is that the Arvin or U.S. Army? I was on the attacking side. I had this thing. It was early war. Dropped 10 kills that first like 10 minutes of the game. It was awesome. I love this thing. No recoil, fires 45 ACP, so it hits up pretty dang hard for an SMG, and it has some of my favorite sights in the game. It also has one of the beefiest sounds for a gun in the game. The 1911, it's a pistol, so it's C tier. I mean, I don't really use pistols that often in this game. Same with the revolver. Both these are C tier. They both fire 45 ACP. Not really that hard to use either of them, to be quite honest with you, but it's a pistol. You're not going to really use it as a primary. And here we have the 2 shotguns. There's a shotgun with a choke on it. I would assume this is this one, since this is the trench gun and this is the stakeout. Oh, guess the murder? Oh, I do. But hello. My dog came in, Mert. I have my freaking webcam. I've had my webcam up here since I rearranged my setup, and I'm used to looking up here at my webcam, and now I gotta look here because I didn't like how it was right there. Nice. The Ithaca Stakeout. This is the Ithaca 37, I think is what it's called. I'm not a huge fan of this specific one's D tier, but it's still pretty good if you can get close range. Stakeout is better. It has a shorter barrel, shorter mag size, lower mag size, and you don't aim down sights with that. I don't believe you aim down the side of the gun. And the trench gun is A tier. I freaking love the trench gun. It's one of my favorite shotguns in the game. 12 gauge double-aught buck with both of them, but you can't switch to slugs. I'm personally not a fan of that, but you do you. The M3 grease gun is basically just it's a simplified Thompson. That has slightly worse sights in my opinion, but that's just me. Open bolt, 45 ACP, does not have a semi-auto fire selector on it, so if you like the semi-auto from the Thompson, you're probably not gonna like this one as much, but it's still like it's basically slow enough fire rate that you can tap fire this thing and make it semi-auto. The M40, I would it's not bad. It's not my favorite though. It's C tier. I don't really use it that much. I'm personally not a fan of it, but I actually really like the scope reticle on it. So the scope reticle's nice. I'll give it that much. But other than that, I would rather use the XM21, which should be coming up sometime soon. Yeah, it is. But the M60 GPMG, I really like the M60 actually. One of my favorite LMGs in the game. I think this is one of the first games I got above 20 kills with. I don't remember what map I was on. I've never heard my mouse make that sound on my mouse pad. I thought my dog was in my room for a second. I got my first 20+ kill game with this thing on Kson, I think it was. And I freaking love this gun, dude. The iron sights are clean. You have a choice of a 100 round ammo box, or I think it's a 250 round ammo belt for it. So yeah. The noob tube, the M79, the bloop tube, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a fan of the grenade launcher class, so I'm gonna go D tier with this thing. It's not that bad. I've gotten killed by it so many times, but it's just not my personal cup of tea. Not exactly what I would use. The M2 flamethrower. I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot this was even in the game, and I have not used it ever. I don't think. I don't know which one of these is suppressed and not suppressed. Gonna be real with you here. Yeah, I genuinely have no clue which one's. There's a suppressed XM21 and a normal M21. No clue which one of these is suppressed on here. Suppressed one is going D tier. It really isn't that good. Non-suppressed one's going A tier. It's one of my favorite marksman rifles in the game. Suppressed one, you only get 8 shots of some subsonic ammo. I don't know exactly what you get in it, but you have to manually like You have to manually recock it after you fire it because it apparently doesn't have enough power to cycle the entire thing. So that, and has an insane damage drop off. Damage on it's not that good in the first place. Damage drop off sucks. All around, just not a very good sniper rifle in my opinion. Now, yes, granted, this is the 60s. Suppressors weren't really, a mainstream thing back then, but still, this thing isn't that good for a sniper. The other M21 though, I think you get a full mag, like it's basically an M14 with a scope on it, but you can't reload with stripper clips, which isn't exactly a bad thing. Really good to use, really nice. This is probably one of my favorite rifles in the game, for sniper at least. Oh no, I forgot that there were AKs in this game. Didn't even think about having to rank the AKs. There's a... Shoot. I think I can tell the difference. The one with the slightly darker wood is the AKM. The two with the slightly lighter wood are the Type 56s. I forgot completely to rank these. Oh, that is going to be so unfortunate. Oh, okay then. Well, this might be a little challenging. The AKM, yeah, S tier. I stand by that choice. Type 56I, C tier. Type 56, E tier, or F tier. I friggin' hate the Type 56. Okay, so everyone knows what an AKM is. I'm not even going to go into what that is. Type 56 is basically just a Chinese copy of the AKM. 56I has a folding stock on it, which somewhat helps in close quarters, but still it's not my favorite gun in the game. And the Type 56, this is like nothing redeemable about this thing. Higher fire rate than the AKM, same round, more recoil. And you don't get a folding stock for it to be better in close quarters. So this thing is just, I hate the Type 56. And I hate the sight. I don't know what it is about fretted hunt sights. Yeah. Hooded front sights. I hate them in gaming. I don't know why. I don't like them. Especially on AKs and SKSs. The DP-27, I think is what this thing is called. Forgive me if I'm wrong here. I can never remember the name of this thing. I just called it the dinner plate. C tier. I've used it like twice. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. It wasn't my favorite. So yeah. The side-by-side shotguns that I've used like once. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know I don't know why there's another one here. That might just be another variant of it. Coach gun by itself. This thing has some insane range, dude. Like, Jesus Christ. If it had more ammo, this would probably be S tier. I'm gonna be real with you. I've gotten hit by this thing 80 meters away in one shot when I was at full health when this thing had buckshot in it. This thing has range on it that you wouldn't expect it. This thing has range that the Ithaca doesn't have. Like, it's on. If it had more than 2 shots in it, if it was a pump action, it'd be S tier. Honestly, this thing has insane range. This, on the other hand, B tier. It's for close quarters and mid-range only, but it's a sawn-off shotgun, so yeah, it's really fun to use, though. The Makarov PM. This is, I think, the weakest pistol in the game. It fires 9x18 Makarov, which if you saw my Insurgency Sandstorm video that I haven't uploaded yet, that I really need to upload, now that I think about it, fires a 9x18 Makarov, so it's not true 9mm, and it is slightly weaker than 9x19, so you're not going to get as much power. And I don't run this thing like ever at all on the Vietnamese side, so this is going like D tier. I don't like the pistol in pretty much any game I play. Okay, and I'm really glad that they put the entire picture for the MAT 49 in here. This is the Viet Cong version. This is the Viet modified version. This is firing 760x25. I want to say is what it's firing, with a higher fire rate and a shorter barrel, so it's going to kick harder. But that higher fire rate in close quarters is a freaking godsend. This thing is beautiful in close quarters and indoors. I love it. This thing is really good too, but I hate the sights on both of these. I'm not even gonna lie. I fold the stock on both of these. I can't stand the iron sights. This one has a slightly lower fire rate and fires 9mm, so it's not as good. But this thing is really fun to use close quarters and indoors. The Mosin Nagant, B tier. I like it more than the American bolt action sniper that I can't think of the name of off the top of my head. I'm going to call it an R700 for now because that's the only sniper I can remember of the Vietnam War. Mosin Nagant, 5 rounds of 7.62x54R. It's going to hit like a freight train, not as hard as the M1 Garand, but still going to hit really freaking hard. I like this thing. I like the sights on it. And yeah, the Mosin PU. It's C tier. same reason as the M40, you can get the Dragunov and the MOS 49 sniper on the Vietnamese side, so there's really no reason to use this thing. Although, credit where credit's due, you can still use the iron sights on this thing when you have the sniper thing on, or when you have the PU scope on it. Credit for that. I don't see a whole lot of games that do that. The only one I can think of at the top of my head is, the only two, Enlisted and Cuisine Royale, so bonus points for doing that, but still, I'm not a fan of this gun. Yeah. The BPSH 41. Frickin' love this thing. Drum mag is S tier, stick mag is A tier. Both these shred close quarters. If you have like an M16 or an M14, you better hope and pray you get that first shot on that dude's either upper torso or put a bullet through his head. Because if you don't, he's going to rip you in half with either one of these. Yes, this has 35 rounds. Yes, that is more than enough in close quarters to rip you in half. I've been killed I don't know how many times by these things, dude. I love both the PPSHs to death, and they're some of my favorite SMGs in the game. On the Vietnamese side, they're definitely my favorite SMG. The RPD. I had to remember the name for a second. I almost called it an RPK. This is not an RPK. This is an RPD. Not my favorite. Not my least favorite either. Tier below the M60 because I don't know. Just something feels off about it compared to the M60, but it's still not that bad. The SKS E tier. I dislike this thing. And I don't know whether that's because of the iron sights, because it only has 10 shots of AK in it. This thing fires the exact same caliber as AKs do, which I really wish this thing fired 760 by 54R. 10 rounds of 760 by 39, hooded front sight, and a bayonet that is almost essentially useless in like 90% of the situations you're in. So, excuse me. I'm not a fan of it. Every time I've tried using it, I've gotten destroyed. So yeah. The SVD Dragunov. This is going a tier above the Mosin, but not by much. I don't like the PSO scope side. Not a fan of it at all. I've never liked the scope reticle in the Dragunovs. Never been a fan of it at all. You got 10 shots of 760 by 54R. I think you can get 11 with one in the chamber. I'm pretty sure you can at least. I don't see why you couldn't. I'm pretty sure you can use iron sights on this gun. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since I've used this thing, but I still really, really like it. But there are also guns I would choose over this thing. The Tokarev TT-33. I've used it like once, and it got me killed, so D tier, I guess. But I think that's going to go ahead and just about do it for this stream, guys. If you enjoyed it and want to see more tier makers in the future, and if you want to finally see that Insurgency Sandstorm tier maker, then that'll be coming out probably after. I'm going to be probably recording that right after this video goes up. So,